Hello, everyone. This is Sinema77, horror cult film lover, and I'm back with another movie review. If I wasn't worried about, being hit with a copyright strike and everything else, I would definitely have Rob Zombie's song "Living Dead Girl" playing all through this, because who is this irresistible creature who has an insatiable love for the dead? Now, the movie we're going to be talking about today is basically about that kind of a situation. We're going to be talking about the movie from 1996. It's called Kissed. Now, the movie stars Molly Parker. This is a Canadian film, and yeah, this movie is definitely an interesting film. To be pretty blunt about it, the movie's about necrophilia. It's about you have this character here, Sandra, who's played by Molly Parker, and as a young girl, she's fascinated by dead animals and things like that. She has the dead body of a looks like a canary or a bird, in a box under her bed, and she just has this fascination with the dead, and she takes out the bird and she's like petting it, touching it, and she's kind of like just rubbing it on herself and everything else, and then she meets a friend, and they start going around. The two of them, they're both kind of like outcasts in school, and so they're going around and they're finding these dead animals around, and so they but the thing is with Sandra, she has this kind of a ritual when she buries a pet or she buries an animal that they find, and she has this ritual that she likes to take, the animal and touch herself with it, and rub it on herself and everything else. And at one point, she's doing this ritual with her friend, and her friend sees her kind of, she's rubbing the dead animal on herself. She's getting blood all over herself, and the friend is a little freaked out, and decides she doesn't want anything to do with her anymore. And so yeah, and so she's pretty much alone. And at one point, it's like she's stripping down to her underwear and everything, and doing her ritual with these dead animals and things like that. So then, some time passes and everything, and then we realize that Sandra's now in she's now in medical school, and she's played by Molly Parker, who's a Canadian actress here. And hang on a second. So, so now we realize that Sandra, she's now in medical school, and she's learning things, and she works, in her parents' flower business and things like that. And at one point, she's asked to take a delivery to a funeral home, and she goes to the funeral home, and she sees this body that's laid out for visitation and everything before the funeral and all this stuff. And she becomes excited by it, and she becomes just really entranced, and just pulled into it and everything. And then the manager of the funeral home, he comes up, and she tells him that she wants to work for him, and basically kind of do an apprenticeship and everything. And so he goes ahead and he hires her, and um, introduces her to basically like the custodian, and the two of them get together and they talk, and it's revealed that it's revealed to her that the man who runs the funeral parlor and stuff, that he tends to have a thing with the dead bodies as well. And so she's or, so especially like the young boys, he's really into young boys and things like that. So and but they go ahead and they take her on as an apprentice and everything, and she starts learning the trade. And but she starts to develop, basically start having sex with the bodies, particularly young men that she finds attractive. And then she wants to start learning how to embalm and everything. And so little bit by little bit, she's learning more and more about this. And she realizes that she just has this love affair with dead people. And then she meets this young guy. She's in a restaurant, and she's just minding her own business. This young guy is kind of scoping her out, really wants to talk to her and everything. His name's Matt, so he comes up, and he just starts chatting her up and everything else. And so they start talking and everything. And she's pretty laid back by the whole thing, and she tells him right away that she likes having sex with dead bodies. And so he's quite taken aback by this at first, but then he's kind of very curious about it. And he starts asking her like all these questions, like how do you know, and that how do you know you wouldn't like it with a live person? And so they have sex together and stuff, but there's just something there. She just prefers being with a dead person. And so he's asking her all these questions and everything else. And what I like about this movie is one thing I would like about this movie is that it's like they don't sit here and try to explain every minute detail about it. She just even she says, like she's like, I can't understand all of it. I don't know why. It's just it's just how I am. It's just what I do. It's just how I tend to be, and so she's just and so he's the one who's kind of getting more and more, not like he's freaked out by it, but he just the thing is like he's really in love with her, and he really really wants to be with her and stuff like that, but at the same time she seems kind of unattainable to him because of the fact that he's alive. And I'm going to get into some spoilers here in a minute. Okay, so just so you know, spoilers coming. But so anyway, so he keeps asking her all these questions, and she's getting tired of it, and she's just all like, come on, just lay off of it already. And so he's sitting there like, well, what if I have sex with a dead corpse and stuff too? And she's like, no, and she's just all like, can't like, God, why do you have to intrude on this? And can I just have this one little thing and everything else? She's like, I'm still with you. You're still my live boyfriend and everything else. And I still care about you. And that's one of the things I do like about this is that even though she's not 100% sexually attracted to him, that's the thing. She doesn't hate the guy. She doesn't hate the guy. She still has sex with him. She still spends time with him. She likes being with him and stuff like that. So I mean, she's never like trying to push him away, or she's never like trying to be horrible to him or anything like that. It's just that she realizes like she just has more of like this attraction to the dead and everything, and she has her ritual and things like that, and she just she really can't break away from it. And he's trying to do these things for her, and because he's becoming very much obsessed with her and falling in love deeply with her and everything else. But he also knows that she's going to keep doing this. And so he's like at one point she comes over to his place, and he's laid out on the bed. He's laid out in a suit, and he's telling her like, go ahead and take advantage of me like you would one of the bodies or something like that. And and she's like, no, I can't get into this and everything else. And so he's trying to but then he keeps asking her so many questions. At one point she's helping host a funeral, and he shows up, and he's talking about how good the body looks and everything else. And the director of the morgue, or the director of the funeral home, he's telling him like, well, it's her, she's the one who does all the great work and stuff like that. Um so anyway, so he's she's the one who works all the magic around here and everything else. And so um yeah, so then he keeps just asking her over and over again, like, what can I do, what can I do? And she's just all like, can't we just enjoy our time together? And it's really not working for him. I mean, he's really just kind of losing control of the situation, and he's just not happy with it. And ultimately he decides that the only way that she's ever going to truly love him and truly want to be with him is that he needs to be dead. And so at one point, like I said, he tries to fake being dead, but realize that's not enough. And so he's kind of losing his mind. And and she's trying to let him know, like I said, she's not a bad person. I mean, she is trying to let him know that, like, I'm happy being with you, and I'm happy spending time with you, and I like talking to you, and everything else. And I don't mind having sex with you. It's just, um, it's just I still got to do this, and it's just the way I am. You knew that when you first met me, that this is how I am. When it comes to sex and everything. So, and but ultimately, he pretty much just can't hack it. He can't hack the fact that even though she does care about him and she wants to be with him and everything else, and that he can't handle the fact that she's still going to keep doing this and everything else. And she's explaining that part of it has to do with like the aura of the dead people, and that's what she's attracted to, and that's what she's able to get off of. And so she goes over to his place, and he's standing there on a top of a chair. He's got a noose around his neck, and she's not telling him to go ahead and do it. She's telling him, please get down. I do care about you. I do love you. I don't want you to hurt yourself. And he's all like, this is the only way, and this is the only way you'll truly love me. And he's like, I know you don't love me. And she said, no, I do care about you. And he's like, no, you don't love me, but you will. And she's all like, look, just come on down, we can talk this out and everything else. And you know and that's the thing, that's one of the things I really like about her character in this movie, is that you know she's not a bad person. I mean, she's, I mean, even though it's like, well, it's not 100% there, but she does care about him, and you can see genuinely she does love him, she does care about him. And but he decides that there's no other way around this, so he kicks out the chair from under him and he hangs himself, and now he's dead and everything. And so but so police come and they question her, and she tells them about, like, that she tried to talk him down and he didn't want to come down and everything, and that yeah, that he ended up killing himself before. She tried to stop him, it didn't work and everything else, and basically she got away with it. And well, there was nothing for her to get away with, though. And ultimately they she talks about, like, out of love and respect for him, she's going to handle the body, obviously. And so basically the movie ends with her saying that he is truly the love of her life, and that he did this for her and everything else, and that she does truly truly love him. And she loved him in life as well as death, and that he's the man for her. And so that's pretty much where the movie ends. And so, but anyway, though, it's like, that's the movie. And honestly, like, now I want to talk about Molly Parker here, who, this is an actress who I honestly, she's one of those actresses, I think she's really beautiful, she's really talented, and but she never ever really got the credit that she deserved. I honestly feel like she really should have been, up there with the likes of, I don't know, like Sandra Bullock or somebody like that. I mean, she's really good, talented actress. And I've seen her in a number of movies, and including this one. But I've seen her in the Dean Koontz miniseries Intensity. I don't even like Dean Koontz that much. I'm more of a Stephen King guy. But I saw the miniseries Intensity with her and John C. McGinley, and that's actually a really good miniseries if you can find. I think it's on DVD-R, but yeah, but she's amazing in the movie, and she was in the Wicker Man remake, which, ooh, we're not going to go there. But when the TV show Nightmare Cafe was on TV, she was in an episode of that. Let's see what else. I've just seen her. Yeah, 1922, the Stephen King movie that's on Netflix. She's on there. She's really good. But the thing I like about her in this movie is that she does her job as an actress. And what I mean by that is that you would have a lot of actresses out there who they could never really play this part, because like I said in the movie, when Matt, he keeps asking her all these questions, she can't answer it. She doesn't know all the answers, and she can't explain it to him. She's just like, it is what it is. And the thing about her is she plays it that way. She doesn't sit there and go like, she doesn't sit there and be that kind of actress. Like, first of all, so many actresses would be so vain that they would never play something like this. They would never in a million years play this kind of a part. They would, it would have to be explained in such detail, and it would have to be, written to such fine, minute detail that, she has to understand it, the audience has to understand it, and everything else. And the fact that, Molly Parker, when she plays this part in the movie, she does not judge the character. She's playing the role. She's not judging it. She plays it as it would be. You could see that she is, she's not, putting on an act, or, I mean, obviously she is, she's acting, but, you can kind of tell like some actresses when they give a performance, you can kind of tell when they're playing a character that they don't agree with. You could kind of just tell that like something is off, and they're not really, they're not really playing it for what it really is, and they're not just accepting the character and just playing that character. Rather, they're having this judgmental thing going on about the character, and that's the great thing about this character is that, or that's the great thing about Molly Parker as an actress. She does not judge the character, and if you look at her work, she's done a wide variety of work. She's like in this movie, she's playing a necrophiliac, and then like in Intensity, she plays the strong female hero who saves the day at the end of the movie. You look in 1922, she plays a victim. You see um, like the Wicker Man remake, she plays a man hating, basically religious fanatic murderer and things like that. So I mean, she plays a wide variety of roles, and I always thought that she did a good job. And I thought that she never really got the credit that she deserved. But now the thing about this movie is like I'm not into necrophilia or any of that other kind of stuff. But this movie does kind of lull you into like how somebody could maybe be into it, if that makes any sense. You know, like she says, even she doesn't know why. She just is. She just is this person, and it's just how it's just how she gets off sexually. It's how she, just it's just what she does, and she can't understand it and everything. And I think that there are probably like necrophiliacs out there everywhere who, I mean, they always say, you always hear like psychologists on TV and stuff like that. They always say like if a woman or a man is into necrophilia, usually it's a control issue. It's like it's somebody they want somebody that they can control, somebody who's not going to fight back, somebody who's more than 100% submissive and everything else. But in here, it's not really about that she wants a submissive partner, because in the movie, there are moments where Matt is perfectly willing to be submissive to her, and she's not. She's like, that's not it. It's something else. Something about the aura of the person, or whatever else. So it's not as cut and dry as all that. That she just wants somebody who's going to be submissive. Because he already shows he perfectly willing to be submissive to her, but that's not it. But 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 I like I mean, that's kind of the thing though. It's like you have a character. First of all, she's not a murderer. She never kills anybody. So it's not that kind of a thing. She's not doing like what Ted Bundy did. And Ted Bundy was a necrophiliac, but he murdered most of his victims and stuff like that. But she doesn't murder anybody. These are people that they're already dead, and usually they're very attractive young men that she has sex with. And chances are, you could still say, oh, it's horrible, it's wrong, and everything else. But at the same time, it's kind of like, well, if these guys were alive, if she said she wanted to have sex, I don't think these guys would put up too much of an argument. They'd be like, yeah, she could have sex with me, and I'd be fine with it. I would be pretty much okay if she went ahead and jumped my bones. But but yeah, and it does, and that's kind of the thing though too. It's like I'm not saying that this movie is going to make you want to go out and have sex with dead bodies, but the movie does try to illustrate that for these kind of people there is an appeal to it, and they just it's what they do. So. But yeah, I'm sorry. Just I'm not an expert on necrophilia, so I'm sorry if just I'm just trying to talk about the movie. So I'm sorry if if what I'm saying doesn't make a whole hell of a lot of sense. But I'm trying. But just like I said, I'm not a necrophiliac, so I can't really explain it. Get somebody who is a true necrophiliac. They probably do a much better job of explaining it than I could. But anyway, though, yeah, it's kind of a movie. It's it reminds me of something along the lines of like Secretary. It's just a movie that's about trying to show like somebody with a fetish without like really trying to pass judgment on them in so much of a sense, because that would be the thing, in real life, if somebody who no matter how innocently their fetish goes, because like I said in this movie, she doesn't kill anybody, and she's not really like harming anybody. Um, I mean, that's the thing. I mean, yeah, if like the of course, if like the relatives of the people she's doing this, if they ever found out what she was doing, then yeah, she'd be in a world of trouble. But it's just but I mean, think about it. This kind of thing probably happens every single day. We always got people that, you probably drop off a loved one at, funeral homes and stuff like that. Now, as horrible as it is to think about, we don't want to know what they do to our loved ones at the funeral home after we drop them off. So, but that's one of those things. It's kind of like, if they don't know, well, there you go. But anyway, though, yeah, I would say if you're kind of curious about this, now if you want something that's more explicit and more gruesome, now that's the thing. This movie's not gruesome. This movie tries to really romanticize the idea of necrophilia and show you like how somebody could potentially be into it. But if you're not into, if you want like a more grotesque version, there's always necromantic. That's kind of like the real kind of like cult film when it comes to movies about necrophilia. But yeah, I would say if you get a chance, I mean, if it's something like you want to approach it from more of a what's the word I'm looking for? Objective point of view, and you want to try to, just not really agree with it, but you want to try to get some sort of understanding of it. It's like this movie could kind of maybe help. It can kind of give you an idea of how somebody can be into that sort of thing. But other than that, though, that's pretty much it. We talked about the movie Kiss, and it is an interesting movie. And like I said, I really think Molly Parker here. I think she really does give a great performance, and I think I think if you got a lesser actress, this movie would not have worked. I think if you got an actress who would have just been like judging the character rather than just flat out playing it, just playing it for what it is and everything else, I think this movie never would have worked as good. But anyway, that's going to do it. Yeah, we talked about the movie Kiss from 1996, and I better stop now because all I'm doing is just repeating myself. If anybody took the time to watch this video, I thank you for doing it, and I appreciate you for doing it. I really hope you enjoyed the video. If you did enjoy the video, please like and subscribe. I do weekly reviews and shelf by shelf videos and haul videos and things like that. So yeah, and I'm always trying to see if I can find new ideas to update my channel, or see if I find something else to entertain everybody with. But anyway, that's going to do it. So this is Sinema77, horror cult film lover. Thank you again for watching this, and take care. I hope you have a good night. Bye bye.